what's up everyone, Miss Flying Master here, and today, finally bringing you the deck profile both on my channel and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. As a matter of fact, just in case there's anybody that is subscribed to one but not the other, finally bringing the Lunalight deck profile that I was playing around with in our live streams a couple of weeks ago, and I said I was going to go ahead and provide the deck list. I'm willing to bet there's a bunch of people out there that are fans of this deck, don't know exactly how they want to play it, or they just want to get a second opinion, so I'm here to provide that. I was going to make this a while back, and I apologize for the slightly inferior sound quality. For some reason, my mic ain't working. Yeah, Windows was I don't know, Windows gave me some kind of message about something that, you know, might be a problem, like security-wise or something like that. I don't remember what program it was, but some Windows Defender type thing. And without even thinking twice, I just said, you know, go ahead and do your usual stuff, and then, as it turns out, it deleted some kind of file, like audio file, that my mic apparently needs, some kind of Realtek file or something associated with Realtek, but now I can't seem to get the problem fixed, and yeah, so I'm using a different mic. But anyway, enough on that. Let's go ahead and get into this. We have 3 Lunalight Wolf. This card, so good. I mean, if you have the ability to make 1 Leo Dancer, this thing basically guarantees you'll make second, which is really, really cool. You can either make 2 in the same turn and push for the win, which is like what this deck likes to do, or you can just hold on to it and make sure you have a play for the following turn, just in case you run into a Storm and Mirror Force or something, which I have done. As a matter of fact, I did that one of the times in the live stream, and I was so salty about that. But anyway, we got 1 Crimson Fox. This, along with Purple Butterfly, are kinda, sorta, you know, situational. I don't especially like them, but you have so many ways of searching out the cards in here. I mean, let's take a look at this. 3 Lunalight Perfume, which can search out any of your Lunalights. 3 Tanky, which searches out pretty much all of your Lunalights. So therefore, you have 7 potential copies of each of these in your deck, and 9 for like all of these that you run 3 of. So I figure, you know, with that kind of consistency, you might as well run 1 of them for those times where it actually does come up that they are helpful. Plus, they are just other fusion targets. If you get in hand and you don't really like them, they can still be used to make a fusion summon, which is really good. 3 Lunalight Blue Cat. You can sometimes sit on this for a turn, especially if you have like a Reincarnation Dance that can help you get set up on turn, or your second turn if you're not set up on your first turn. That can definitely happen. 3 Kaleido Chick. This card is so good. I think this is the newest support the archetype has gotten, and it is just absolutely amazing. I mean, this thing takes a huge load off of having to make, you know, multiple fusion summons in the first turn. Now, there are so many combinations you can have here. I mean, let's say you have Black Sheep, Lunalight Perfume, and, I don't know, a Tanky or something like that in your hand. You can discard the Black Sheep to search Polymerization, use the Perfume to special summon this thing, banish this thing out of Kaleido Chick after discarding something else, use a Tanky to get the last Lunalight you need, or if you happen to have another one in your hand. In any of those situations, that gives you a Leo Dancer, like right then and there, because of the ability that you can still normal summon this after special summoning back the Black Sheep. Or let's say you have a situation where you have to use Fusion Recycling Plant, discard the Kaleido Chick to summon a add a Polymerization from your deck to your hand. I cannot speak today. And then you either use like Lunalight Perfume to special summon it back, or you use the White Rabbit special summon it back. You get the idea. There's so many situations where you can use this thing's effect to go ahead and send a Panther Dancer to the grave, which allows you to treat this thing as a Panther Dancer and use it to go into a Leo Dancer. Plus, it sets up your graveyard for Wolf. It's just so good. Alright, so moving on, we got 3 Tiger. Tiger and Wolf, both, you can use their pendulum abilities multiple times in the same turn. Now, for Wolf, that's not really too good, but for Lunalight Tiger, that can be amazing. It can really allow you to abuse Black Sheep. I love abusing this thing. If I get a good setup, I can use this effect like 4 times in the same turn and just keep going and going and going. It's crazy. And the ability to activate this thing multiple times in both of your pendulum zones in the same turn can be really cool at times. Alright, we got 2 White Rabbit. I almost want to add in a third. You'll see there's 39 cards here. That's because I'm like divided. I'm not sure which one of the... There are 3 cards I kind of want to put in this 40th slot, and I don't know which one is the 100% correct choice. As a matter of fact, it might not be a correct choice. It might be preference or style or something, but the 3rd White Rabbit is one of the options I'm considering putting in. The only reason it's not a staple 3, like these are all staples at 3, is because the fact that this relies on the normal summon to get its effect to go off, and that's the only effect it gives you. Well, you can target spell trap cards your opponent controls and do all that. But there's enough times where you have to normal summon out either a Kaleido Chick or something like that, where it's like, it's just not all that amazing in your hand. Now, you could say the same for Blue Cat, but the thing is, Blue Cat, if it's special summoning, gives you an effect, whereas if this is special summon, it doesn't give you a special kind of effect, so I don't know, it's a close toss-up. Alright, 3 Black Sheep, needless to say, this card is, like, so good. I've only got 2 polymerizations in here. You definitely do not need the 3rd, because the fact that Black Sheep can give you polymerization, Perfume can give you Black Sheep, which can give you polymerization, Tenki can give you Black Sheep, which can give you polymerization, Fusion, Recycling Plant can give you polymerization. There are so many ways of giving you this card. It's just insane. And like I said, this card does not say it's limited to once per turn. You can just go ahead and keep using it. And the fact that it can give you a Lunalight monster from your graveyard potentially, or your extra deck, I mean, that's just really good, because let's say you fusion summon with Tiger and it gets sent to the extra deck, and then you use this thing, add this thing back to your hand, then you activate Tiger in your Pendulum Zone and use its effect. That can definitely come up. Moving right along, we got 3 Allure of Darkness for speed. The only lights in here are these 2, which is kind of funny that they're light when everything else is dark, but oh well. Fusion Recovery, really, really good card. I mean, if you get to perform a fusion summon and you got this thing in your hand, you're almost guaranteed a really good board by the end of the turn. 2 polymerizations, 3 Lunalight Perfume, possibly the MVP of the deck. I mean, it's just so good. 3 Tenki, 2 Fusion Recycling Plant. I don't especially like this card, to be 100% honest, but there are just enough times where it helps you set up the graveyard. I mean, there'll be some times where you really want to discard a Lunalight Perfume to get the polymerization, banish the Lunalight Perfume, add either a Kaleido Chick or a White Rabbit hand or something like that. That can come up. Plus, you can discard something like, say, the Kaleido Chick, and then normal summon White Rabbit, bring back the Kaleido Chick. So, between the effects it gives you, I figure between the grave setup and the polymerization search, it's just good enough to make in here. As far as the ability to add things back during the end phase, that's pretty good, but I wouldn't really rely on it to help you out too much in that regards, because it's probably going to die on your opponent's turn if it doesn't die on your own. So yeah, for that reason, it's nice that it replaces itself most likely, but I wouldn't ever plan on getting pluses off of it. 2 Instant Fusion. I didn't have this in the original build in the stream. If you want to know, originally I had a BLS and a Dark Arm Dragon in here. I ended up taking both of them out because even though they are really powerful cards in and of themselves, and there is an argument to be made for a deck like this, see, the problem with fusion decks is they rely more, or you have to commit harder to your plays with fusion decks than like any other deck in existence. Something like Dark Arm. Something like the Dark Law deck, the hero stuff is a bit of an exception because of how easily they can bring out fusion monsters, but then again, that's because of mass change, and you can search mass change and blah blah blah. Most fusion decks, you have to commit really hard to the play, and you have to rely on it going off, because if it gets stopped by something like, say, Solemn Strike, you may well be in a worse position than your opponent by a larger margin than most other decks in existence. I mean, Synchro plays, Xyz plays, you usually commit 2 cards to the play to make 1 card, so you go -1 in return for the effects, right? But you're committing 2 cards to the play. Fusion and Ritual, kind of by definition, have to usually commit at least 3 cards to the play. There are exceptions, of course, but usually you're looking at 3 cards for 1 card, and hopefully you get a larger reward, so it's a larger risk, larger reward, but like I said, it's a larger risk, so let's say your play gets stopped, you could be in trouble. Anyway, long-winded way of saying that Dark Arm Dragon, Blackluster Soldier, having 1 card things or solutions you can have to some problems is definitely worth considering. If Dark Arm were at 2, I would definitely run 2 Dark Armed, I think. But 1 of each, I don't know, it doesn't come up as much as you'd necessarily think, even though it's not too difficult to control the grave, thanks to fusion summoning. Like, you can fusion summon a tiger from your hand, or use a tiger in your hand as fusion materials, Light in the grave and then banish it along with a Dark, bring out PLS and stuff. And thanks to Black Sheep and White Rabbit being able to easily manipulate your grave when you have somewhere from 2 to 5 darks in your grave, it's pretty easy to control exactly how many you have there. You'd think it'd be pretty easy to bring these things out and make them useful, but it's really not as good as you'd initially think. Besides, Instant Fusion is also a 1 card out to some particular threats, because you can make Norden, which I do have in here, bring back a level 4, which we have plenty of level 4s in here, and then you can hopefully go for an Xyz play, such as Diamond Dire, or cast Stealth out some things your opponent has. Plus, Instant Fusion, the more and more I thought about it, I didn't have this in the original build when I was during that stream, but the more and more I thought about it, it's like, wow, Instant Fusion is a 1 card Predaplant Dragostapelia. That is really, really clutch, actually, in some situations. That's just really, really good. Because this requires a fusion monster plus a dark monster, so all you do is Instant Fusion, you make Norden, you use Norden to bring back, say, Blue Cat, boom and boom. You got 2 monsters right there to bring this thing out. And that can be really, really clutch in some situations. So for that reason, I might consider a 3rd Instant Fusion in the deck, or the 3rd White Rabbit. The 3rd card I'm considering is the 3rd Reincarnation Dance, because this card actually, even though this deck wants to win very fast, commit very hard to a play within 1 to 2 turns and kill your opponent very fast, that's entirely what this deck does. But if you can't do it, Reincarnation Dance definitely helps you maintain some advantage a little later on into the duel. Like, it basically ensures, like, if you get to resolve the Reincarnation Dance, you are basically assured a really good fusion play on the following turn. And for that reason, I kind of want to run it at 3, but the thing is you can only activate 1 per turn. If you could activate multiples, it would be a no-brainer, even though a monster has to be destroyed by Valor card effect. But since you can only activate 1 per turn, you know, it's like, I don't know. Alright, as far as the side deck goes, or not side deck, extra deck. Starting off over here, 1 Greedy Venom Fusion Dragon. This thing is hard as heck to bring out. Honestly, this should be taken out for a 2nd Predaplant Dragostapelia, in all honesty. Or you should at least run 2 Dragostapelia if you're going to run the 1 Greedy Venom Fusion Dragon. But this thing is so awesome, I just decided I kind of had to throw it in here just for ha-has. But yeah, in all honesty, it's really difficult to bring out. I mean, if you run the 2 Predaplants and you have 3 Instant Fusion, it's not too difficult to bring out this Predaplant Dragostapelia, and after that, what you need is either a Panther Dancer or a Greedy, or a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, and then you can make this thing. And this thing is so good, once it actually does hit the field, it is so difficult to get rid of, and just keeps coming back. There's a lot of good things about it, but if you can't make it that easily, then, you know, how much good is it actually going to do you is a question you should really ask yourself about any monster. 2 Leo Dancer, you have to run 2, because, you know, you're going to be hopefully making it multiple times in the same duel. 3 Panther Dancer, not only are you going to fusion some of this thing out occasionally, you're also going to be sending it to the graveyard to activate the Kaleido Chicks effect, so yeah, you have to run 3. 2 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. It's actually pretty easy to make. 2 Dark Monsters on the field. Unfortunately, it has to be on the field, but that's still not difficult at all to make. White Rabbit, bring back the Black Sheep, use these 2, make Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Simple as that. The 1 Dragostapelia at the moment, like I said, definitely should put in 2. 2 Cat Dancer, I feel you do need 2 of these, even though you're going to be bypassing it oftentimes. So you don't need as much as you did have to back in the day, but still really, really good. 1 Norden, 1 Musketeer, 1 Diamond Dire, and 1 Abyss Dweller, just because there still are a number of things that can activate in the graveyard that this can negate. At some point in time, this may well find itself cut if things in the graveyard become less relevant, but for right now, things like that definitely happen. Alright, as far as the side deck, not really a side deck, I'll just cover a couple of these real quick. Soul Charge would be really good in here, but I feel that it kind of goes against the mentality of the deck. The only time you really like Soul Charge is turn 1. After that, it kind of is a catch-22. It can give you a powerful board, but you can't do any damage. It's like, what are you going to do? The deck is all about hitting your opponent once and hitting them so hard they can't get back up again. So I kind of feel Soul Charge goes against that whole mentality. Max C, if you want, you can play in here, obviously. There's sometimes it can be really helpful. Let's see, Fusion Substitute. You could run one in here, but I would never put it in instead of 2 polymerizations. It would be in addition to, and by then I don't think you really needed 2 polymerizations. Seems just right. And honestly, even though it can recycle a fusion monster back to the extra deck and give you the card and all, it really just didn't come up, at least for me, as much as you would think. So I really don't think it's necessary. That's about it. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Hope you all enjoyed the deck profile. And now I gotta go make a deck profile for my Sylvans, because I played with that on the last stream, and I really want to talk about that. So, as always guys, comment, rate, and subscribe both to myself and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. Both are really cool channels. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.